for past several years at the Mori Art Museum, we have held medicine and art exhibition as well. And that actually was backed up by genetic science utilizing art.
Genetic science. それでね、今年の10月にはイノベーティブ、今年の10月にはイノベーティブシティフォーラムっていう国際会議がありました。そこでは今度メディアアート、テクノロジーを使ったアート、それから、イノベーション、そしてこれからの街をどういうふうに作っていくかということを議論しました。
And actually, in October this year, we also held an innovative city forum where we talked about the technology utilized media innovations and how to create or build towns.
大体そんなことでいいでしょう。
So that's about it.
ありがとうございます。では、ダニール君の方から自己紹介をしていただきたいと思います。
Alright, so I guess okay, so I guess I started working with art and technology probably around when I was 10, when I started doing workshops with robotics with even smaller children. And since then, it's because I've always sort of had a bit of a background in mathematics. I moved on to technology and programming. So after that, I had an internship at MIT after a couple of projects, which included virtual reality, etc. Then I started to work with 3D printing, and more recently, I started a company which designs items which help make people's lives easier. So this could range from closed captioning on a wearable display, which actually somebody beat me to, but to small scale everyday items like a pillow which plays music or a belt which charges your phone. I guess I've done a bunch of random stuff related to technology.
I mean, that's amazing. And you also created a belt which has a mobile phone charger. How did you come up about that kind of ideas? And also the device which plays music inside the pillow so that you can help with the insomnia people.
Okay, so I guess with the company, my parents helped me with paperwork, etc. I guess, but other than that, in the company, it was just me at first. Now there are a few more people helping me at this point. And the pillow was actually one of their ideas, and the belt, it was just for a couple of weeks straight. I was going through ideas constantly, so I must have thrown out 1,000 ideas ranging from slightly bad to absolutely horrible and would never work in a million years. And I mean, I guess time-wise, it's so much to work, but it was fun, I enjoyed it.
But actually, だからそのものを作るときには工場発注みたいなことしても誰にものを作らせても
Are you actually ordering a factory to mass produce or to produce the actual products using factories?
Well, that was actually the next step, which I plan to go on to currently. It's the pillow hasn't reached the phase where we're prototyping it. So far, it's mostly theoretical, and the belt we started making prototypes. So, and we've also started we're starting an Indiegogo campaign, which is a crowdfunding platform, and so in a few months, once that's complete, I'll start contacting factories, etc., to set up some sort of production.
ですから私はさっき見てきたんですけれども 壁の上に映像が、まあ、紙の白いスクリーンみたいなものが通してあって、そこにそのペンで、まあ、書くのかなと、そこに現れたものが 3D でもって表現されてくると、こういう作品なんですけど、ちょっとそれについてもう少しご自分から説明してもらって。
The reason why you are here is because of the exhibition, the installation that you're displaying right now, and I'd like you to walk us through your installation. And I saw it personally. There was a white screen, and then you draw with a pen, and then the sensor will pick up all the data, and that will be translated into a 3D model utilizing a 3D printer. But if you can describe it in your own words, that would be great.
Okay, so I guess we start with the 2D drawing medium, which is definitely one of the most popular mediums in art. And then, so the idea is that without changing anything about the 2D medium, we are taking that same data and turning it into a 3D through a process of manipulating it, but so that that process remains constant, and so does the data, so that what comes out is actually corresponding with what was drawn on the 2D scale. So after that, that gets realized on a sort of a sculpting application. It's virtually carved into a blob of clay, and then after that, it, like you said, goes to a 3D printer to be realized in physical 3D. Yeah, and so the idea is that the idea of the art remains constant in any medium, so long as the values are corresponding.
And that, I think, was represented in a 3D form in a virtual reality. And does it always start with that?
Well, we have been starting with a sphere for the sake of consistency in transferring the results, but hypothetically, possibly further, if we continue with this project, we could have any sort of shape to start, or even no shape, just an empty space where the drawing on the screen would generate lines, which would then move on a z-axis on their own.
そしてそのプログラム、まあ、そこからスタートするみたいだけど、そこからその 3D になって削れていくわけだけども、そのプログラミングは彼自身がやってるのか。
So are you the one who are doing the programming of that 3D sculpture? To carve out?
Well, actually, we've been using a third-party software from, I can't recall the name of the company, but it is similar to some work that I've done in the past, but I've worked more with reading the data provided by a time-of-flight camera rather than working in a 3D continuous medium like that.
一回じゃあ戻って、最初に自己紹介をしてくださった時のお話に戻って、バーチャルリアリティについてこう MIT で少し研究したっておっしゃっていて、で今その赤い何かを目の上に装着しているので、これが何でこうどんな景色がなんかカメラっぽいものがついているので、何のためにそれをつけてるとダニー君からは何が見えてるのかちょっとお話しいただけますか。
So going back to your self-introduction, you briefly talked about the virtual reality project that you're involved in at the MIT, and I'd like to know what actually you researched on the virtual reality project. And then I see a red thing on your above your eyes, and I'd like you to talk about what kind of view you get to see from the object that you are wearing on your face. And just out of curiosity, we'd like you to share what you see through that.
Okay, so I guess I'll start with the MIT part of that. So at MIT, I was working for a group called Camera Culture, which is under the Telmex Media Lab, I believe. which is part of the MIT Media Lab intern. So then I was interning there, and what I was doing, I was writing some code and solving a few mathematical equations regarding time of flight. It was a lot about learning. I did help somewhat with, my goal was basically to help with researching a cheaper alternative to the massive, very expensive camera, so that it could be implemented on a more common scale. So I did some research with that, and actually at the MIT Media Lab was where I first tried Google Glass. And this is, as I said, Google Glass, and what I see here is a small display, which then has slide-by-slide images, videos, etc., usually simple on a gray slate, sometimes with a background image, to create a sort of rudimentary smartphone interface.